This has been an idea that we've talked about for years, and it's really a matter of getting the right developer at the right time to make the right game.
That's 80% of the battle to me, is, if you've got the developers, got the passion, the technology, and the right creative vision for the product, you're in good shape from the get-go. For influence on this game, we looked at the past story arcs that involved the Shi'ar and the X-Men and the Macron Crystal, and obviously the more epic Doctor Doom-centric storyline. A little bit of Secret Wars, Civil War, the Ultimate books, and how kind of real-world and stylized those books are. Looking at all of those big epic arcs, those famous Marvel arcs.
The challenges on any given game project are really different depending on the game, but usually what you're dealing with is the scale of the game, the scope, how many characters are there, how many unique backgrounds are there, how big is the game in general, how many levels are there going to be. You have effects, you have design that you have to liaise with, you have programming budgets that you have to deal with and making sure that everything fits within memory.
The schedule is the biggest thing, making sure everyone's organized and you know who's working on what next. The artist better be creating that art for the levels, weeks in advance of when the actual designers need it.
This is the closest thing to a massive multiplayer that I've ever worked on. We're talking about 7,000 or 8,000 unique objects. What we basically do is we start off in concept, and we get a sense of what it is we want to do. And we go to our really good concept artists here, and we say to them, all right, we need to get a sense of what the architecture is going to look like and what the characters are going to look like. And we create a book. We do color studies on it, so we get a sense of what the lighting is going to be like. And then we start to actually rough it out in 3D. And it goes from modeling to texture to lighting, and then eventually to gameplay and try it all fitted in.
And of course the levels is another huge challenge. We have to make sure there's different puzzles or there's different areas in the game where everyone feels like these characters' unique abilities actually shine.
We're actually building sets, and then we're set dressing them and trying to make them look as cool as we can.
Developing a launch title is a big challenge. When we first got hardware, we had to become more and more skilled at creating high-quality content, much more detailed worlds. That's really exciting. We're learning new things every day that really make games better.
We have over 20 playable characters, some that fly, some that fight on the ground, some that do both, some that fight underwater. From a gameplay design perspective, it's a huge undertaking, and getting that to work, getting that to balance, getting that to play really well is really a testament to the creative talents of the guys at Raven and what they've been able to do with this property.
So what we do is we respect what tech needs, making sure that our memory budgets and that everything that we build actually is going to run and is going to look good. And they respect us in making sure that, in the end, we have a product that looks fantastic.
The music in the game was something that we actually had outsourced. We wanted to make sure we were getting the absolute best for it. We wanted to make sure we were getting the true live orchestras, stuff like that. We actually got a few different composers. We wanted to make sure different parts of the game actually had different feelings to it. So if you're in Murder World, let's say, it's kind of got this kind of crazy carnival kind of sense to it. But then, of course, when you're on the Shield helicarrier, it's very triumphant, very heroic sound. And we really wanted to make sure we had a difference and really matched the different environments you were in. And they did an awesome job. The effects are huge. I mean, when you've got Thor, let's say, swinging a hammer, you can kind of guess what that's going to sound like, but you've really got to see the crackle of the thunder and the electricity on that hammer when he swings it, because they have a hissing in the beginning of it, and they also just kind of explode.
Hello again, my friends.
Voiceovers for these comic book characters, as you can imagine, is a tough thing. I mean, it's like everyone has their own idea of what they sound like.
I am Uatu, the Watcher. Listen closely, mortals.
Certainly, if a movie's come out, it's a lot easier to kind of judge that, but when you just see these guys on page, I mean, it's near and dear to everybody's heart.
This one started with the characters, and then it grew from there. For an actor, that's the best way to work. Because the characters are the core of it.
It's an action game, and everybody likes to be able to jump on the controller and mash the buttons. But at the very core, this is the story of good and evil.
This thing is coming out on the Nintendo Wii.
Having it on the Wii is specifically exciting because of the functionality of the controller and obviously the buzz that the new interface is going to have, the interaction with the characters. This way, you don't have to break your leg. You just, put in the disc and go.
Odin's throne will be mine.